I'm joined by U.S. Senator Joni Ernst from the great state of Iowa here. Senator Ernst, thanks for joining us here on Breitbart News Daily.
Thank you. I am glad to be here. Thanks so much.
And so the first thing I want to talk to you about, the big theme of CPAC this year, and I think this is important. This is my 10th CPAC, so I've seen all these issues that are discussed first and foremost here, then percolate out in the coming days, weeks, months, even years ahead, years out from now across the country. The theme this year is America versus socialism. So we've got a socialist who is tearing up the Democrat Party on the campaign trail. He's won the first three contests, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada. Bernie Sanders. Make the case for us against socialism.
You betcha. Okay, so we do. We have, and I would say not just Bernie Sanders. Look at the entire field of Democratic candidates. They keep marching further and further to the left. It's like they all want to emulate Bernie Sanders. They want to be that socialist. And let's not make it sound pretty, because they are socialists. And so I'm very passionate about this, because I'll share my own small experience with socialism. When I was in college, I was able to attend an agricultural exchange in the Soviet Union. So I lived on a collective farm with a family. There were a number of other students from Iowa. We were each with a different family. And they were farming. This is 1989. Farming with horses and wagons. They had no running water. They had no refrigerator. They had no automobile. They all shared one bicycle. And so that was 1989 in socialist, in a socialist country. And so when we would get together on the collective in the evening, the families that would come out with us and talk to us, the first thing they asked us was, what is it like to be an American? What is it like
They
to
wanted
be
that freedom.
free?
They wanted that choice.
Exactly. They wanted that freedom, and they didn't have it. And that's what these candidates want, the America, the dream that we have. That's what they envision for us, is to roll back the freedoms we have and live under governmental control. Is that really what they want to see? I would say no. And the American people, we don't want that either. So socialism, you're talking about a government takeover, basically, of your lives, your industry. We don't want that.
By the way, if they can't run the Iowa caucuses correctly, right? Look at how badly they handled that mess. Then how are they going to run your health care?
Exactly. When the spotlight was on the Iowa Democratic Party, they failed. They failed.
Right.
And so if they can't pull off a caucus, how do we expect the Democrats to run health care, free college, name all of the frees that they want to give the people of America at great cost.
If they can't run that, I just don't trust them to run my health care.
No, certainly not.
But so you're doing a panel today with Senator Marsha Blackburn. We just saw her walk by a minute ago. Senator Blackburn's fantastic. You're fantastic too. Okay, but one of the major themes that you guys are zoning in on is the need for conservative women to be engaged this year. This is a very important year. Can you tell us about some of the things that you guys are going to talk about on the main stage here at CPAC?
You bet. I mean, there's so many issues that women really want to tackle, and things that are important to us. So if you look at our pro-life stands, Marsha and I are very outspoken, being very pro-life. Pro-life is pro-woman. We are for women and girls, no matter what age, whether they're in the womb or out of the womb. So I think that's really important, and I hope something that we'll be talking about today. But then other family-type issues. Women in the workforce, of course, paid family leave, which is something that President Trump is very strongly behind. Finding solutions to health care, flexibility, quality, transparency, all of that we need in our healthcare system. So there are a number of things that we as women can focus on. But again, women focus on all kinds of issues, economics, the military. I served for over 23 years between the reserves and the National Guard, deployed overseas to Iraqi freedom. I am a very, very strong defense hawk. So I think that there are a number of things that women bring some really great skills and abilities to, and we just need to encourage more of those conservative women to stand up and run for office.
So there's a couple things I want to zone in on there. So you mentioned the pro-life stuff. There's a few different bills that are going through that you guys are moving through the Senate, have been in the process of moving, and then there's also on the paid leave front. So if you asked me a few years ago which side was leading on the issue, I'd probably say the left. But that being said, now that President Trump is out there championing it, and what you guys are doing in the Senate, I know that you are working on a bunch of different things, and as are a number of other Republican senators. You guys have taken this issue away from the left. This is a Republican issue now. It's a family issue. So talk about both of those things for us.
Yes, and I'll start with the paid family leave. So there are a number of different bills out there. If you look at the bills on the left, all they want to do is tax more and more and more, and that's not what we need as an economy. So Senator Mike Lee of Utah and I have focused, and we have text that we have put together for a bill that would allow moms and dads to take time off, paid family time off, when they have a newborn, just as we see with Alex, or if they adopt a child. And so it's a conservative approach. We're really excited about it, and we're glad that Ivanka Trump is really spearheading some of our efforts.
She's going to be here too.
She is, yes, magnificent. She is just really pushing a number of these issues. So again, proud to partner with Senator Mike Lee. We are excited about moving some of these bills forward, really discussing it with our Republican conference and getting some Democrats on board too. It's really important. The pro-life issue, of course, we had two bills that were blocked by Senate Democrats this week in the Senate. The first was the Born Alive Abortion Survivors Bill, and we are talking about a baby that has been born from a botched abortion attempt. It is a living, breathing human being, and the left would allow that baby to die. What we're saying is no, we have to save that baby, provide life-saving supports for that baby. They blocked that. That's a common sense bill. That's infanticide. So that's what they're supporting.
Okay, so now I know we got a couple minutes left here, so I want to try to squeeze in a couple other things. So the obviously this is 2020. It's a major election year. President Trump is at the top of the ticket. That's super important. I want to get your thoughts on that, but also there are important down ticket races. You're up for re-election this year in Iowa, and then there's also the House is in play. There are if Republicans can flip 18 seats, they can retake the House majority, a net 18 seats. There are 30 districts out there that are represented by Democrats that are districts President Trump won in 2016. 3 of them, I believe, are in Iowa. So what are when we were talking during the break about those key battleground districts in Iowa. So can you tell us, I know that's a lot to try to fit in a couple minutes, but what are some of the things that we need to do at the top of the ticket? What do we need to do with your race and other Senate races, key Senate races around the country? And also what do we need to do on the House side of things?
Yes, well, with the top of the ticket, of course, we need to focus on all of the great work that has been done in this administration with a Republican-held Senate. We have been able to, of course, right the economy, Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which has been very, very good for the wage earners in Iowa. The lower wages are the fastest rising wages in the United States, and the expansion that we have in our jobs industries and manufacturing, that has been phenomenal. The trade bills that we've gotten done has been pretty fantastic. So focusing on the economy is really helpful. President Trump has been amazing, and that will help all of these down ticket races that we see in the Senate and in Congress. And Iowa will be a battleground state. It is a very purple state, but we do have some House districts that we need to recapture and hopefully keep this seat as well. It's imperative.